chest at the very, very top. Yes.
Oh, at the very top.
Totally
Oh, that
just
tree.
appear.
The very, very
Oh,
top of this tree. Oh my God! Of course, that's where you hid that item. Wondering where that got.
What is?
I was wondering where that got put. It's great.
I always hide one of these in every
The
map I
derp
work.
stick, knockback 10.
The knockback 10 gold sword. It is the official. The bow is a very good. This is the item that if you just don't want to see a mob anymore, you tap them with that thing.
Well, I'm just gonna
And
carry it with
it
me and
just-
just whack mom and see how far they fly.
Hey,
Here, let's show a demo out here.
Pear,
Pass me
stand
one.
here.
Pass me one. No, please. It doesn't work the same way on players as it does on mobs because knockback has a cap on players. Could I please be put back in creative mode, please? Thank you
100%.
very much.
I'm just gonna give you op so you don't have to worry about that.
Could you pass me one of those swords, Ve? A copy of it.
Yeah.
Let's provide a demonstration for the masses of what knockback 10 does to mobs.
Whoa!
The other thing, you can apply a little extra knockback with a sprint attack instead of a crit.
But at that
So-
point, it's basically a rounding error.
Yeah, it's wee. Knockback. I have fun fact. Knockback kind of caps at around like 5 or 10 on players, but on mobs you can try like knockback 100, and basically the mob just teleports to the first block it hits in a straight line. It's really funny to watch.
Here, I want to try to. I want to place a zombie right here and just. Oh, it's a mini zombie. All right. Oh my God! It
Get
just.
that thing out of here. It's awful. We hate
Yeah.
the minis
Oh, mini zombies
and their
suck.
awful hitboxes.
It's actually not uncommon with a knockback this high to knock mobs far enough away that they despawn instead
iron
of
sword.
dying.
And that you can definitely knock mobs far away that they de-aggro. It's really
Yeah.
funny that you just said a mob gets about you.
Yeah, does critical hits affect knockback at all or no?
Critical hits, they have more knockback than a regular hit.
little
Not as
bit,
much as a sweep hit, and not as much as a. I think, if I'm remembering it right.
It would have been great if they found this item.
It would have been, but it's
It
so
also breaks so
far out of.
fast.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, it
really,
has 30 uses.
really far.
Yeah, it's a gold sword, so it doesn't last very long.
Yeah, that's interesting.
And I
So
suppose we can go to the cathedral. and
might as well,
discuss-
because it is on
Which-
the island. So
You guys, they did the cathedral. They ended up doing it last.
Yeah,
they
they
did
did it-
second.
second last in the overworld. Yeah,
Yeah.
we could
Which-
do it in
that's
the order of how they did the dungeons, but I mean we're already here. Might as well just
Yeah.
go through it.
So they had better gear than the cathedral really anticipated you'd have, which is why it felt like the cathedral didn't pose too much of a challenge for them. I definitely think if you play this map on your own and you try the cathedral after the capital and the gardens, even with the good chainmail and gold gear that's offered, it is still fairly challenging. I know you mentioned to me in private that you thought the cathedral and the observatory were definitely the hardest overworld dungeons, and I'd probably agree with you on that.
Yeah, they definitely are. Oh my God.
For the
guys.
power level of gear you're intended to have, yeah, definitely.
More ghasts high up to
Discourage.
disincentivize bridging
Yeah.
these phantom spawners too.
I know.
'Cause
I don't think.
Otherwise, you can basically just bridge between the two objectives. Whichever one
Yeah.
you get to first, you can bridge the others.
Yeah, I don't know. I know a lot of cathedral exploration probably got cut because it's a big dungeon. I know they didn't really go into this shattered tower off stream.
Oh
Which-
yeah, yeah.
I mean, they didn't do it on camera. They might have done it off camera, but
They
mostly
didn't.
that's in here is
Yeah.
there's just a couple obsidian shards, and so there's not too much in this tower. The destructed field kind of does imply that there's not too much here, anyways, and that's not wrong.
Mm-hmm.
The spawners in the cathedral also probably need toning to reduce their ranges, that they're not
There-
going off when you're 3 floors.
Oh, there's
below.
phantoms here.
Yeah, there's
there
a couple.
is there is a lot of one thing in the ruined tower, and that is there are a lot of spawners.
Yes, there are a lot of spawners. Yeah,
Is there any chests that have really good items in here? Or is it just like the same gear as all the other, like
I think it's the
areas?
same gear. I might
Yeah,
change
it's
that
nothing-
though in the future. A lot of the gear in the cathedral is definitely still pretty good. Like, and even the leather gear is really high enchanted.
Oh yeah, like protection
Which-
4.
It's like your protection 4, I think. The ruby set gear. Yeah, yeah. Protection 4. It has vanishing, but in a hardcore that doesn't really mean much.
yeah.
But yeah, and then we mentioned earlier how most players don't really know that, so I found in hindsight, even if they find a worse piece of armor that is a higher tier, they'll still use that worse piece, which is amusing to say the least. But I know it was funny in the last episode, one of the guys pulled out the diamond helmet with protection 1 and was like, I have prot 3 on this iron helmet, it's probably better, and he's probably right that it was better.
Knocked before entering.
Yeah, this is the one where the really good leather chestplate, the one that's protection 4 and level 2 of every other specialized protection.
Oh yeah, that's a really good piece of armor, but I don't think they ever used it.
I don't think they used it, but it's pretty good. It also has armor toughness so that it works well with even your better gear. I know every level of protection is basically 4% damage reduction. Every level of specialized protection is 8% to that category. So that's effectively like minus 40% on projectiles, which is really powerful.
Trapdoor.
Yeah, and then there's the hidden lever mechanism, which opens the little cultist room.
I like how they just like dug through the redstone a whole bunch.
They did, yeah.
Also, this is the first area with the not the Cauldros
I was
task.
slightly depressed when they did that because they were digging through that redstone and it took me hours to get that right. Now I've spent as much time as I did given the time crunch, but
Yeah.
Bless silver
one
ingot.
Of the currency silver ingot items are here. The other one's in the keep, and then there's a shulker box in this chest. And the only mob in this room is the drowned trident guys, which are the red named guys again. But unfortunately in this dungeon you're standing near spawners so often, even these slower guys can get off multiple spawns, which is kind of a problem. But
yeah, there was so many of them. I remember they were going through this tunnel like right here, and there was like 10 of them just all crowded in here.
Because they were up here kind of hanging out in a safe area, and that spawner was active, just going off repeatedly, and it's kind of unfortunate that I just need to nerf the ranges on these spawners, so that's less of a problem.
Ooh, knockback 10 really does knock them back.
Yeah, it will. It's pretty good if you're in. It even works on things like the abominations, because even knockback immune mobs take more knockback from those things.
Oh really? So knockback 10 works on knockback immune mobs?
Any level of knockback and punch actually does. It's just the effect of it is drastically reduced. But even the punch 3 would probably act like knockback 1 on the abominations. This would still probably yeet them out of existence.
This isn't a fully accurate explanation, but think of knockback as when you hit something, you give it a certain number of points of knockback. Knockback resistance is reducing that by a number of points. So let's say you hit something and give it 8 points of knockback. If it has 10 resistance, and like this isn't exactly how it works. I'm just trying to keep it real simple because it's super complex. If it has 10 resistance, you don't knock it back. But if you have a knockback 1 and now you're hitting 12, you'll knock it back a little bit.
Yeah. Knockback's also been reworked. Knockback resistance has also been reworked in the coming snapshots. Knockback resistance right now works on a chance-based system where you have a chance to take no knockback. Unless you have it maxed, then you just don't take any. On the new snapshots, it's actually just a flat reduction to all knockback sources at every level, which is super cool. Because it makes knockback items so much better.
Imagine how much worse. Oh my, that's a lot of.
God, that's a lot.
Imagine how much worse these guys would be if they had axes.
Yeah, they have books, which means that they basically only do like 5 or 6 damage instead of 15.
Yeah, but there's usually so
have
many.
Like a base of 4. But yeah, there's a lot of them, so they kind of go everywhere.
Oh, yeah, I remember when they came up to this floor and they were just like, "No, we're not going in here," because all the they were below it.
They see all the mobs. They're just like, "Oh, that's a no," and these are strays.
Yeah.
And then more of the gear in here is more or less the same.
Yeah, similar to what you get in the garden.
Yeah.
There's an underwater area all the way in the bottom that I don't think they ever went to because it's just annoying to go underwater.
Yeah, it is. I don't know how much respiration providing. I I know we reported the Riptide Trident in the capital, which is fun to use. Oh, where's the custom Trident in capital? There is definitely one. Found it. It's a Loyalty 3, Sharpness 3 Trident.
Okay,
I'm right here at it. It's in this house back here, guarded by one of the elite guys.
Oh,
it's actually pretty powerful. If they like the Tridents, they found this, it would be super useful. I think there's actually a chest next to this Trident this Trident chest. I think someone did get this chest, but saw the Trident thrower and failed. But I don't remember exactly.
Oh.
So I think they got this chest, but I can't remember. There's so many chests in this area that...
I think they might have gone to a different building that looks somewhat similar. A lot of these, yeah it's easy to get them confused because they look similar.
For sure. But yeah, that would have been a cool item if they had stumbled. But, oh well. And then there's actually a second unique item in Cathedral, but it's very, very hidden. I believe...
Is it all the way up there?
I believe it's all the way at the top. I believe it's right here. Yep, right here. It's another offhand item.
Oh my god, that was loud.
Oh yes, guests.
I need to lower the volume even more.
There is a chest up here, hidden right in this top of the tower that you can't really see except from the slab. It's not an offhand charm. Right. And it's not a really powerful potion.
Oh yeah, that potion's really good.
Yeah. And then it's also got knockback too, so you could swap it to your main.
Oh yeah, it's got knockback too, and give you speed and attack speed. Yeah, it's a pretty interesting item, but I don't think they wanted to go up here just because of the gas.
Oh no, yeah, the gas and everything. It's a very hidden item. I doubt.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone has found this item up here.
And then there's the hidden room, down a bit below that.
Yeah, right here. There's a hidden room here with 4 chests. These are all enchantment book chests of various types.
Yeah, some of
There's
these
a
are pretty good.
mending book in here, which is very good. I don't know how much more mending was actually offered as book form in the map. There used to be about
twice as many books in here, and I got yelled at and said it was too overpowered.
I mean, to be fair, I don't know if anyone has found this area, at least on camera, up here. Because you get to the top, you get the box, and you think you're done. So I mean, and then there is, I believe this is just a normal evoker spawner, which in hindsight, really a bad idea because Vexes suck. But, and then there's some anvils up here, more chests, basic zombie spawners. More enchanted books.
Oh yeah, Totem of Undying. Those were never actually used until the very end, where Justin just kind of killed himself with a zombie and just used the Totem of Undying.
the one problem with totems is, especially in the last area, we didn't mind giving out too many of them because in the last area, if you get knocked off, a totem doesn't save your life.
Exactly.
It will trigger if you're holding it, but you're still falling into the void at an endless level. It's kind of something I wish totems didn't do, but that's kind of how they work. So, it would have saved them had they fallen in the lava, been swarmed by mobs. I know a couple times they got very low health in the last area, which the totems would have helped there.
It won't save you from lava if you don't have fire resistance.
Right, because a totem
clears your effect.
Clears your effects.
It gives you 4 hearts absorption. Lava ticks every 2. Your fire resistance is lava ticks 2. Every half second. Your fire resistance is gone. You get 3 extra ticks before you die.
So unless you have a fire resistance...
unless you're literally right on the edge of it, or you realize I need to drink my fire resist potion again, you're dead.
Yeah.
Alright, so let's go to the next island actually, because we've been here for quite a while.
Definitely,
There's a lot to see here.
Yeah, there is a lot.
A lot to see everywhere.
Yeah.
And even so, I still feel like the map doesn't really have, besides the main dungeons, there's not a lot to actually see that fulfills the whole open world. Which is something that I'll probably be addressing when I eventually update the map.
I wanted to put some underwater ruins in this area here.
Yeah.
With loot and stuff, and it just didn't happen. It wasn't time.
A jam map kind of you don't have the time to do a lot of those non-essential things.
Yeah.
And we had the map basically done in the 72-hour period. The problem was when we updated to 1.13, every time we tried to load the map, it crashed. And
Yeah.
when we loaded it, finally, half the chunks were deleted. So we had to problem solve that, and we finally realized that loading it in MC Edit just broke the format of the map, because we had to load the entire map in vanilla and then convert it. It was a pain, and that's why it didn't get done in time. But
So this not a dungeon.
yeah,
Is bigger than some of the dungeons, and it was built entirely without mapping tools as well.
you dug this whole thing out. Oh, probably with TNT.
TNT.
Yeah, I was like, by hand? No way.
Oh
way.
no, not in 72
Oh.
hours.
Not in 72
Yeah.
hours.
No, yeah, this is a post update. Definitely.
Yeah. This was a post-update thing.
I
There
did
are
love.
drop creepers.
I did love
I
the
rem-
creeper
I
spawners. in
remember
the beginning
somebody
with the gravel.
who made the comment about there's gonna be hidden creepers here, and then like there was a drop creeper.
The moment like after it was Justin or one of them made the comment that
It's like, oh, there's gonna be creepers dropping here, and then that actually happened.
boom, a
Yeah.
creeper right here. But I did love in the beginning part where there's the creepers, they actually blow up, the ceiling's low enough they blow up and cause the gravel to fall. I actually didn't really know about that, and that's super cool, I think.
Yeah,
That you guys designed that.
I put a lot of thought into this,
Yeah.
even though it's kind of, you know.
One of the most interesting things that was never really found is the secret underwater area.
Yeah.
This right here.
Down here, if you go all the way down this mine shaft, there is a
elaborate that more.
hidden
gas
underwater
spawner.
ravine. Yeah, we have special gas spawners that allow them to spawn in water. And there are a couple chests down here. I don't. It's an obsidian shard.
Oh.
That makes sense. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Gas not really a threat underwater. The projectiles travel so much slower. But and they won't even blow stuff up. But your ears might suffer a little bit.
Okay, so I had my hostile creature sound at 40% for some reason.
Oh my
That was a mistake.
I am just gonna mute the hostile creatures. Oh, never mind. It's
Do
been set
that.
to peaceful.
We'll just do that now. We can turn it to get to.
Alright.
And then at the very back end of this ravine, there's a Silk Touch Efficiency 4 Unbreaking Iron pickaxe.
Yeah, that was a really nice pickaxe, but yeah, it was never found, obviously.
Yeah, this area is kind of very out of the way, and unless you really wanted to go deep dive water exploring, which most people don't, you'd never find it.
Why am I in
Yeah.
survival? I didn't even notice
I don't
that.
know. I don't know why you're in survival. I noticed to it, and I'm like, huh. All right, so I guess first dungeon on the docket is the graveyard. This is also where we start providing iron gear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then in here, actually I'm gonna give myself a item to hold so that I can see
no.
things.
My cat's getting on my desk.
Uh-oh.
We're good. Crisis averted.
Crisis averted. Yeah. Okay, I suppose we can turn on the mobs again so people can see the mobs again. So yeah, so we got the grave robber skeletons, and we've got, I believe, the ranged ones inflict mining fatigue, which all that does is really slow down spawner breaking.
I put on night vision.
Fair enough. All right. So the
Yeah.
graveyard. We've removed most of the mines, help more visibility for the actual dungeon layout.
Okay.
Graveyard was mostly me and Athena. I know I kind of hollowed out the cave, did some of the aesthetics around like the creeping leaves around the top and the spikes, and and helped with the trees. Athena did a lot of the wall and grave structural stuff.
Yeah, I like that big opening at the top right here.
Yeah. You can see it from the very top, and it's nice to just provide a bit of natural dungeon. I know. So the mobs in this dungeon, most of them are pretty basic. The skeletons have mining fatigue arrows, I believe, which slows down spawner breaking.
These guys are really nasty.
These guys they never really got hit by them, but I believe these guys, they do a lot of damage from what I remember. I don't remember the exact amount, but they hit hard and they don't take knockback. And when they die, they drop a damage potion.
So I did a solo hardcore run of this map, and I got to this dungeon, and I was attacking this guy like right in front of me, just like jumping into critical hits, right? And after I killed them, when he dropped the instant damage potions, he just killed me right there.
I don't remember the level of instant damage. It's probably level 2 if I had to guess, given that these guys are one-time spawns, pretty slow, and my anticipation was that if someone dies to them or gets really hurt by them after they kill the thing, they'll remember to kill it from afar instead of getting up too close to it. Fortunately for our surviving hardcore players, that was their strategy with almost every mob anyways, and I can't blame them. So
yeah, range is the way to go.
Range attacks are generally more powerful.
I assume that Enderman is just completely random.
Yeah, entirely random, but kind of funny that they just kind of showed up there. But yeah, we don't have any Enderman spawners. We can't. If we could make Enderman aggro, I would use them more often, but we can't actually make them aggro onto players
that kind of sucks.
because of how they work. Endermen, unlike pigmen and unlike bees, Endermen have a tag which basically makes them target one player exclusively. So unless you set that tag with a player's ID, they will not attack until provoked, which is what sets their ID, that tag naturally. So there might be a very roundabout way you could do it, given that 113 has given map makers a lot more command flexibility, but I haven't looked into it myself. And then there's a couple more chests over here. I believe there are also a couple chests in the graves if you dig for them. Yep, there's one there.
Yeah, there is some.
And the other thing that's fun about some of these skeletons, they have a larger spawn range. They can spawn like a couple blocks out, and they have vertical momentum. So when they spawn, they will basically leap out of the grave, which is pretty cool. But I don't know if they caught it on camera, but because if you're not looking at them when they spawn. Yep, there's this one.
It's funny because their name makes sense how they jump out of the grave.
Yeah, this is a throwback to a map called Ragecraft 2 by Helicio, where the first area was a graveyard, and it had skeletons that did the exact same thing. They leaped out of their graves and chased after you, and I thought it was a really cool mechanic, so I wanted to kind of bring that back.
They don't take a knockback.
They don't either, yeah.
Even with
really?
The sword.
Really?
Yeah.
Weird. Knockback must work differently in 113 than it does in the versions.
Or they have a really, really high knockback resist.
That's true. I could have set it to like 100, and then they would have never. Yep, there's the and it's oh yeah, it's a lingering cloud, right? What's the effects? If I stand in it, I'm gonna hate this. Oh no, it went away before I could. Oh, I'm gonna die.
I'll just
see if we can kill another one.
Kill it.
And then let's see what the effects are. God, they do have a lot of health too.
This is taking forever.
Well, you do have a 4 damage sword. Okay, it's blindness, and I couldn't get the effect because you were both standing up, and now I'm just gonna die. This is probably deserved me dying after putting 5 people through the torture of the observatory.
Yep.
Although I would guess it's instant damage too, which is gonna be 3 hearts a second. While you're in the field. One thing I notice a lot of maps don't do is provide blocks in chests. There's another one over here too, which is definitely a point of frustration because I know a lot of times one of the things I don't like doing is having to dig up lots and lots of blocks just to use blocks. So I love it when chests provide just, hey, here's some building materials and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's really useful. It's a lot more convenient than having to mine.
Yeah. You can mine blocks, and usually there's enough pickaxes in a map where you can do it and you don't lose anything. It takes a long time. There's also having things like work axes, like efficiency 2 is nice because people can mine lots of wood quickly and then have lots and lots of blocks.
I like how this monument is different from all the other ones, and how it's like kind of in a tombstone, kind of.
If you dig it out, it has the same format.
Oh, okay.
it does look by now the player's seen so many monument boxes, they should, and I believe they correctly just assumed this is the item. It's the chiseled quartz.
Mm-hmm.
So because of the build up association to that, this is what the wool box looks like. So this is probably it. But yeah, it's buried in a grave. And then trying to think, did we put any? There's a obsidian shard chest back here. There's a lot of obsidian chests. I don't remember exactly how many there are. I believe when we originally made the map, there were 12, which is double the requirement. I think now there might be more like 15 or 18. Because we keep kind of just adding them in.
It was funny because at the beginning of the hardcore, like, someone was making a joke like, "Oh, I just throw all the obsidian shards in the lava, and then you can't go into the Nether."
Yeah, I noticed that. Like, there's a lot of obsidian shard. You're hard pressed to do that. Yeah. There is also obsidian here, but there are, and cleverly, no diamonds available in the map until you reach, which means that you can't make a diamond pickaxe to cheese the Nether portal.
Yeah.
So there's 2 paths up to the next dungeon because it's got 2 entrances. I believe they explored both paths on camera.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Like when they first discovered this dungeon, they went through this path, and then when they actually went to it, they went to the other path.
They went to the other path, right? Yeah. So then both these paths are pretty generic. They don't really have too much on them. There's an obsidian shard.
I'm sad you didn't go the other way because the other way has a trap that nobody ever turns.
Really? Well, we will head over there after the pass.
Oh, okay. Another trap I don't know about. Interesting.
And then Cultpass is definitely. I did this. I think I did most of the work on this dungeon. I know I did the cave hollow out and like
this one is entirely your responsibility.
Yeah, Vez not a fan of me because burning crosses, but
yeah.
I plan to remake a lot of this dungeon because I'm not really happy with how it plays, but it does. But for how it works now, it does work well and it does its job.
Yeah,
I do think there's a lot of cool ideas in this dungeon, especially like the invisible blaze smoke columns, which are a bit of a nuisance, but they are thematically pretty cool.
Yeah, and then there's the invisible really cool charged creepers.
What's really cool is because I'm in spec mode, I get to see inside the invisible charged creeper. There's actually a translucent creeper, and I get to see invisible or translucent blazes.
Yeah. These creepers, if you here, let me get a flint and steel because that off. I believe they encountered it, anyways, but they're basically insta-boom creepers. Which accounts for the fact that they have like 1 hit point, so they die to almost anything. They die to pretty much everything. But if one gets on top of you, you are definitely very dead.
And you got these
unless
guys.
unless you hold your lucky handy piece of driftwood known as the shield, which even a thin piece of plywood can save you from a blast that destructive. But shields. All the melee cultists have axes.
Take everything out of this.
Oh, is it one of those traps? You know, I am glad that when I was updating the map, I saw the chest and I didn't take items. Now I know that it's trapped. I won't do that when I update the map because I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's another TNT. Gotcha.
It's better than that.
Oh yeah.
Wow, this game is just dying. Oh wow.
That is
damn.
Dangerous. That is very dangerous.
Oh, I think when they found the chest, they just took some torches and then some blocks.
They didn't take all the items out of it. Yeah, they got very lucky on this.
Oh, that's really interesting.
Yeah. Though to be fair, they would have likely run this way, given that this is the path that they were coming. They would this way. I'm in spectator. Yeah. They would have likely run back across the stone bridge with the ender chest, given that that's the path they came from.
It would have been so funny if they blew up and it killed both of them.
That would have been really funny and a really sad way to end the series. Death to traps.
I would have felt terrible.
Death to traps is always the worst way to die, especially in a hardcore, because it's just so like demoralizing. Like, dang it. But yeah, that's a. I was wondering why there was a lava pit here. Now it makes sense.
Yeah, it's a trap.
Yeah. But anyways, back to the rest of the Cultpass, I suppose.
So
that's some more iron gear in here. Some of this iron gear has toughness on it, which is pretty nice that it makes it better than normal iron.
I don't know. I think they got some of these chests, but also because they're a bit high up and surrounded by blaze spawners, I don't know if they got all of them.
Yeah, probably not. I definitely know that they got the unique item, which is in this chest. It's an offhand dagger item. Which just gives you more damage. I didn't see them pick this up. I definitely didn't see them use it, but I didn't see them pick it up either.
I'm not sure. Also, one thing that's kind of funny about this dungeon is that when I made the kind of like second intro for the hardcore, and like I had the burning crosses in a lot of the shots, I was almost tempted to change those because I didn't realize the implications.
Yeah, I didn't at the time either, which is why when I made the dungeon, I was very polite to not say this is a problem. I will be reworking this in a future release, especially because I'd like a future release to be more Realms friendly, and this is not technically Realms friendly.
This would not get on Realms.
Well, ask Adri about that, but I mean,
yeah.
Realms is sometimes a little lax in their requirements, but yeah, I am now that I know of it, I am not okay with this.
Can I amend that statement and say, according to their written rules, this would not get on Realms?
Yeah.
Whether or not they enforce that, or whether or not they actually search the map well enough to find it.
Yeah.
Well,
every time there's an explosion,
Realms has quality control issues.
Obviously, as well, these guys dropped the permanent invisibility clouds that I mentioned earlier. So, had someone actually been daring enough to run into one and get one, it would have probably been map breaking, unfortunately.
Yeah, I probably would have stepped in and stopped it, or maybe either that or they would have got rid of it themselves.
Yeah.
And I like how when you exit the dungeon from here, you can just go all the way up to the keep.
Yes. If you actually don't know, I'm gonna clear your invisibility so I can see you.
You can still see my items. That's good enough.
But yes, you can if you wanted to. You can go right here. You can access both of the paths up to the top of the dungeon. So both these paths are these are the exact same going forward because I did both of these paths and they're kind of very similar.
Oh wait, there's a chest up here?
This is map.
Oh,
there are multiple hidden chests on the path. Oh, this is obsidian shard chest. There's one down here. I think this one was found though. I know there's one all the way over on the far path. There is a chest back here.
Super fun fact about this chest. Because it's at map height, if you click on the side, you can open it fine. If you click on the top, you cannot.
That's so weird.
It is the weirdest thing.
But yeah, there's a hidden chest over here. I don't know if that one was found. It might have been.
The hidden chest?
Oh
yeah, on this tree?
On this tree, yeah. It's kind of hidden just behind the tree.
Yeah, I think this is found. Maybe.
Yeah.
Or something similar to it, maybe? I don't know.
I know down here there's a house, anvil, and I believe an iron block in it. So
yeah, an iron block.
That was, I think, the team's first access to iron.
Yeah.
Because they went up here early and found that.
I think they mentioned it, but there was a big part I cut out in the hardcore, where they were grinding, killing zombies from spawners to get iron ingots.
They did. I do remember that. I was like, "There's iron. There's iron if you just went to look for it." Oh well. I mean,
yeah.
It is a valid strategy. You can do that. I probably will, when I update the map and update loot tables, I probably will remove that and make iron more common early on so players aren't incentivized to grind for it. And so they can't as well, but not to remove that entirely from the map.
It hurt when I knew there was an iron mine and they were doing that.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. That's what I call generic mapper failure. Inability to tell the player you do not need to grind for resources.
Yeah.
It's in my personal opinion that I don't enjoy playing CTM maps with excruciating grind required. So I always make it a point in my maps to say you can grind if you want, but I will never force you to grind.
So I like these iron armor skeletons because they're not actually that bad. They just have more defense.
Yeah. I believe they have, I want to say they have power 3 bows, which the gear you'd at is pretty standard. It's like an extra 3 damage on their bow from normal skeletons. And they don't have any debuffs or anything. They're just meant to be tanky ranged mobs. Which... And the I know I mentioned it in a comment on the video, but the vampires have regen, which is their unique quirk.
Yeah.
So if you try to beat them down with a very weak weapon, slowly, they will continue to regen, and they will take a lot longer to kill. You can still kill them pretty fast with crits or like a moderately good weapon. The elite ones, which are the ones on the red nether brick, are a different story. Those ones have a lot more hit points, and they regen a little faster.
Oh yeah,
I
these
think,
ones.
Which means...
Oh,
these ones. I noticed there was.
Sword.
Yeah, ironically, the knockback sword is really bad against those mobs. They'll just regen the damage by the time you get back to them.
Yeah.
I believe they have regen 3 and regen 4, which averages to about healing 3 to 4 health every couple seconds. So they're tanky only if you don't burst them down, and in groups they can be more problematic. I remember there was one time where they beat one down and it took like 8 or 9 hits, whereas normally they get it in like 2 or 3. And then there are phantom spawners up in these areas.
Oh yeah, they had trouble with this.
Yeah, they did.
There's so many
And
of
this
them.
is the item for the power 3 bow.
Tormentor.
Yeah, knockback 2 as well, so you can punch enemy with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, these phantom spawners are weird because for some reason they go off in peaceful. So it was a pain to get these things to work properly where they would instantly spawn when a player walked up here. And then of course they continue spawning, which is what makes them more dangerous. But
yeah, you could combine the bow here with the infinity one in the graveyard, and you'd have yourself a pretty good weapon.
I think they actually did do that. I don't remember for sure, but I know one of them had an infinity. I know they were using the punch 3 bow, and they were using this bow, but they were very upgraded.
Yeah, one of them had the punch 3 and power 5 bow, but they didn't have infinity, and the other person had the infinity bow and power, but no punch.
But definitely. And they also kind of transitioned to the bows off of the tridents, because there's a limit to how good you can actually make tridents, unfortunately. Yeah. Especially because I don't believe you can apply sharpness to tridents with an ant, which would increase their damage, but you can't do that, so it's kind of unfortunate. Yeah, and then there's also generic wither skeletons kind of popular in this area to make a bit more of a threat. And then there's definitely splashes of iron. There's a good amount of steak and golden apples all hidden around this ruined area, which means you could definitely, which I believe they found most of them, you could definitely charge into the last dungeons with the best food in the game.
Mm-hmm. Which,
and then we get to the actual keep itself.
Yeah, I think they both had like 10 golden apples when they entered the last dungeon.
Yeah, like they did. And then this area's just got mostly the vampire mobs, and they spawn, and this is also where we first drop a couple diamond weapons and stuff like that.
Weapons. I'm assuming this is supposed to be one of the last dungeons you do before Nether?
Yes. Yeah, this is intended to be the final dungeon. So this is why there's iron and diamond items here.
Right.
Most of the armor is still iron, because diamond armor is a noticeable power spike compared to diamond tools, because of toughness. But then you also get up here, and it's where the second currency silver ingot at the very top of the side tower is.
Yeah.
Which you can use to make the original sword and the original boots a lot more powerful, and I know they did that for both of them.
Yep.
And there's also a totem here as well.
Oh yeah, a totem was in there too. I think they had like 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah, we didn't disable the evokers dropping them, so they dropped them, so you could have lots of totems.
Yeah, they never end up using it until the end though, so...
Yeah. I noticed once they got iron, these dungeons, and once they got down to 2 players, they played in general a little more cautiously, and with better gear, they weren't as nearly threatened as much. Though, had they tried to charge into these dungeons earlier, or with more people, I guarantee there probably would have been a couple deaths in the latter island.
Yeah, I just imagine how much different things would have gone if me and Matt never died in the observatory.
Yeah, had you guys not died in the observatory, I would have expected probably a death in the cathedral and a death somewhere. Because the more people die in hardcore, I notice people tend to play a lot more because they realize that they are also indeed very, very which is funny, but like the moment people start dropping is when people start getting a lot more careful.
Yeah, because like we were just like when we first went to the observatory, it was 8 people. We just charged mindlessly.
Yeah,
into
you guys
it.
just walked into that, and I was just like, oh, they are so going to lose someone here.
Yeah, especially how much I like hyped up, kind of.
Yeah, I was like, oh yeah, don't worry, we can do this.
Yeah, it's like it'll be easy. It's only the 3rd dungeon.
Yeah. Although the observatory in general is not entirely your. That is a little too overdone. I'm gonna plan on reducing that dungeon's power level.
Yeah, we just should have went to the mine, but again, we already know why we didn't.
Yeah.
So now for the
And
Nether.
Yeah, the overall intended progression of the map was Lighthouse, then the first island, then the Cathedral Island, then the that's alright, and then the last volcano, originally Volcano Island. Originally it was going to be a volcano-like dungeon, and then we kind of realized that the area was built all the way up to world height, and that we couldn't really build on top of it, so we decided to kind of change the direction of that last island.
Oh yeah, that was really high up the keep, right? Yeah.
The keep reaches world height, which is a little it made it very build. Me and Athena have a great back and forth where we were complaining to each other about one, the build height, and also I am not a fan of using nether brick to build. And so I saw Athena building the original keep out of nether brick, and I had like a panic attack of, oh dear, nether brick, no! Turned out alright though. We learned that dark prismarine does work surprisingly well with netherrack.
Yeah, it does look really cool.
Yeah. In original dev, back in 1.12, before we had the dark prismarine slabs, those slabs were purple for placeholder, and it looked awful. It was so, it looked so bad. Anyways.
Abandon all hope.
Yes. We should also quickly mention as well that the map over here, poor Fornan, he tried so hard to get this map to look right.
Yeah, like there's signs here talking about world edit at 1.13 and stuff.
Yeah, the water technically, the game did not register that the water exists, therefore it looks all like either empty or stone. I actually have managed to fix this on my working copy of the map. It took me about 3 hours to just go to every single area of the map and slowly replace the water. It was not enjoyable.
Yeah, it sounds like a pain.
Yeah, but regardless, and you can kind of see all the dungeons here. Where's the starting dungeon? Right here, and you can see what the starting point is.
Yep.
And kind of, if you missed a wall before you, record before you get here, you can figure out where it is and go grab it.
Yeah. Yeah, like when me and Isaac first played this map a little bit before the recording of the hardcore, we actually went to this map. We like entered the Nether just for a bit, and yeah, we kind of discovered this map, and we were really confused at first because we were like, why is there only 10 dungeons? Because we thought there was only 1 dungeon in the Nether, but it turns out there was actually 2.
Yeah, there's 2 in the Nether. But one of the that was funny is that the way this works, you right click on a banner, a named banner with a map, that's how it puts the name in the post there. So ironically when they broke the village banner and took it with them and carried it around, had this map gone back to the overworld and updated, that would have been gone, which is really funny. And so when they came and they changed it and mutilated the banner into what it became at the end of the series.
Yeah.
It would have been just gone from the map had the maps updated, but they don't because of how I believe they would actually 1.15 because they fixed that, but
yeah, so it just would have been it would have just disappeared then.
Yeah,
it is funny how they found that banner though. If the creepers didn't explode in the village, they never would have found it, and that joke never would have happened.
Yeah. We should really move those banners lower to like where they wouldn't be stumbled across, but now I don't want to because that was just really funny.
Yeah.
I know there's a couple of them that are really sneakily placed and hidden, like in areas that you wouldn't naturally find, but like you could totally dig to by accident.
Oh,
Also
and
mentioned
these
that
chests.
there are a bunch of hidden chests down here with fire resistance and golden apples. I believe is in both of these. Yep.
Yeah, they had no way of finding this.
I don't blame them for not even bothering to check. This is a terrifying opening. Why would you ever go willingly closer to your own death?
Especially with jump boost.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, that is. Yeah. And so this is just the opening area for the
Also,
Nether.
the chests down at the bottom of the pillars.
Oh, really? Right. Yeah, there are hidden chests in the pillars. I remember that because I was trying to find
Wait,
the command block.
inside of the pillars?
Right? Here's the command block. There is also a command block that turns natural spawning off while in the Nether, because the amount of pigmen in the Nether, when we first released the map, made the Catacombs a really unfun dungeon. Because, ironically, the only aggro pigmen in the Nether, by default, are the little ones. The big ones, actually no, the little ones are not. The big ones are the ones that aggro. So you hit a big one, and all the little ones will start chasing after you. But with all the pigmen, it was just a nightmare.
Yeah, those these tormentors, they have more health than the normal evokers, right?
Yep. I think all they have. They don't have anything else. They're just the buffed evoker. There was actually, I believe, a skeleton mob that we had here that used to shoot arrows that gave slowness 7, so they immobilized the player. But I believe they got cut just because we didn't have the time to actually implement them into the map. But those would have made the last dungeon a little more challenging.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was plenty challenging on its own, so they didn't really make it in.
Yeah, especially when I sneakily increased the difficulty.
Yeah, now that'll... So yeah, these mobs, the only ones that are hostile by default are the big ones. The little ones actually aren't hostile, but... And that's why these are called the Imp Ralliers, and these are just the imps.
Mm-hmm.
Because you'd hit one and then the little ones would suddenly go after you. And the little ones also have, I think, less health and fast time. Which makes them a nuisance. Because baby mobs are so much fun to fight in this game.
Oh yeah, especially with the great, really well-designed hitboxes.
Yeah. And then we got wither skeletons with bows, which shoot flame by default, the Minecraft thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then we've got a power 4 bow and some lovely, really to make your nice bridge with.
Oh yeah, wasn't
Open
it great?
this chest and see a bunch of slabs, and you're like, oh god,
yeah,
why would I have to build this with slabs?
Yeah, it wasn't it funny how at the end when they're like finish the dungeon, they're going through here. It's like, oh yeah, let's get knocked off by a gas, and it almost happened.
Yeah, I know, and I'm just like, oh no, if he got knocked off, they'd have to charge back into the dungeon, grab the last disc. I was like, oh dear.
Yeah, that would have been
there
really
are
bad.
Charge creepers up here, which I don't know if one ever actually fell down and got down in here.
I don't think they did.
But I know a couple people that happened, but they definitely can. And the creepers here, they have fire resistance, but only for 30 seconds, which is why the clouds they drop are egregiously overpowered here. And that's blowing up all the charge creepers.
Yeah, those charge creepers don't blow up as fast as the ones in the Cultpass, that's for sure.
Yeah, no, they're normal. They're normal one. The Catacombs is, I know Van mentioned it earlier, and she and Fornin did most of the work on this, with me and Athena donating a couple small rooms. It's mostly a modular dungeon, where it was just built in like a grid, and rooms were just placed in.
Yeah, it's like 6 modular pieces or something like
I
that.
don't think they ever found these 16 diamond.
Oh,
what?
Yeah, no, they did not find
What?
them.
There's 16 diamonds in there?
Yeah,
Damn.
that I didn't even know that was a thing.
Hidden
Like,
loot.
it's for not checking the chests. Yeah, so the Catacombs is a aesthetic-wise, it's a little uninteresting, mostly because it's just modular repeats over and over. But it's a very maze-like and crawly dungeon. I like it.
Yeah,
but
I like it
it's
too, because it's different from the other dungeons, that's for sure.
yeah, Nether dungeons are normally very big, grandiose, terrifying lava environmental challenges.
A map having, one dungeon like this is fine.
Yeah,
the problem
agreed.
is when you have a map where every dungeon starts again.
Yeah. And there are definitely hidden spawners all over the place, in pillars, in the walls. There's no lava hidden in the catacombs. That was actually a fantastic idea. Whoever mentioned that in core. Which,
Oh yeah.
That might be something I actually end up doing. There's a hidden place spawner there. There's a couple hidden drop creepers. I know. Here's the wither if you wanted to fight a wither.
Funny thing is, I wanted.
Oh dear God.
I really wanted them to fight this, but I forgot to mention it, so they just kind of PvP'd at the end.
Yeah.
But yeah, it would have been great if they actually fought the
blow
the
up
wither.
the entire room. I'm just gonna get rid of it so it's not murdering literally everything.
Yeah, because it would kill mobs, wouldn't it?
It chases after non-undead mobs, so yeah. We got some better items. I noticed they found this item. I don't think they used it. Which, it's a little less on the defensive side, but it offers the attack damage.
Yeah, they found it,
So
yeah,
a little
they
more
never used
damage. But they didn't use it yet, which makes sense. It's compared to like diamond and other stuff like that.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, there's that really powerful potion, which almost got them killed, ironically, because of the weakness.
Yeah, that was interesting.
That's a minus 12 to your attack damage, right?
Yeah, it's like, look at how many times it's taken to kill this pigman.
I was like, you have weakness. What do you do? I'm like, of course it takes forever.
Yeah.
And then here's I believe the only enchant table on the map is this one.
Yeah. They mentioned off screen, like, they're thinking, oh, maybe there's an enchantment table we missed in the Cathedral, yeah. They were thinking of going back to the Cathedral and just search for an enchantment table. Thankfully, they never did that.
So, yeah, problem with historically for CTNs, it's always been that enchanting was offered earlier than brewing. However, the paradigm has changed a little bit, where because back in the old days, enchanting was much less powerful because it costed up to 50 levels and didn't and was not as agreeable. Like you could spend 50 levels and get knockback 2 on your sword, which was not very fun. But the other thing that kind of happened is once anvils came out, potions weren't as powerful anymore because like strength got nerfed again and stuff like that. So kind of we wanted to provide the enchantment table very late so that it didn't absolutely break earlier map balance. Because I mean the anvil books and combining items already really did that, but this would just kind of blow it through the roof.
Yeah, like they use the anvil a lot. Like all the anvils in the map.
Anvils are definitely a sore spot for me at the moment because I like making really cool loot, but anvils allow you to make it just too powerful, and it's like, oh well. But yeah, enchanting and brewing is finally offered in the Nether dungeon here, so if you're really adventurous, you can come here earlier and grab it if you know it's here, or if you're guessing that it's here. I know there's also a water pool in here, which is really funny that how we managed to get that in here. Apparently, the water doesn't delete itself if it's waterlogged in a block, which is how we got water in the Nether.
Yeah, I was wondering about that, like how there's water in here.
So that's also when we get to the last dungeon, the chest in the wool box is waterlogged to prevent it from being blown up by anything.
I see.
Because if it's in the water, a creeper can't blow it up, a gas can't blow it up. There's another evoker in here, and then there's the gold fire protection items, which are I know they didn't use them, but those are basically if you put on one of those items, you take almost no fire damage, which is really handy. But it is also a sacrifice in terms of like armor you get.
Yeah, no, it's good protection wise.
Yeah.
Oh, and
then
if you stand in, you get effect.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you get...
I don't know if they came across this, but yeah, you get healed and you get absorbed.
Yeah, they saw it, but they never jumped into it.
Yeah. And that was this. I think this is like the midway point. Yeah, and this is where the diamond bamboozle traps start coming out.
Oh yeah.
Really funny. I don't know exactly how many of these blow up. I know this one doesn't. But I know a couple of them blow up.
5. 2 of them.
Okay. And I know there's also rooms, caged rooms with charged creepers that they never went into, understandably. Those have some pretty decent loot to it. And that's where some of the... I think if we poke into this one, there's an ender chest in this one, so good for restocking and getting around faster. Although in a hardcore, probably not a good idea.
Oh yeah. What?
Yeah, that one goes kaboom.
Oh yeah, it was one of the traps.
This one here, I believe chest in here with more diamonds and arrows.
Oh yeah, 4 diamonds.
That one goes kaboom. I believe yeah, this is the path that leads to the dungeon.
Yep.
Is very ominous and foreboding. How many bars you have to break through just to get there.
Yeah, and then there's all the creepers, but we'll get there.
Oh yeah, that was that. I thought they were going to die right there. In all honesty, I thought they were dead. Oh god, I can't even get around this dungeon myself. Yeah, if you go in this picture, you can see the whole layout of the above.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah, so if you make a left from here and then walk all the way around, this is a path, which leads to the fence, the obsidian room with the fence bridge.
I'm honestly surprised that they just ran across.
Which is actually this, from what I can tell, I don't believe this bridge minus the spawners over here is entirely like this, but minus the it doesn't have any guardrails, but there's no blazes or skeletons that can snipe you off this bridge, minus the 2 very clear spawners right here. They did blow up the chest, so they missed the enchanted super apple here because they blew that one up. But this, I think they got this chest because it doesn't blow up.
I'm gonna go back and then creative.
Yeah, so we can see the fun that lies above.
Yeah, this fun.
There are 3 creeper spawners up here. These are creeper spawners. They use the endermite so they can spawn at any light level.
And they spawn really fast, don't they?
Well, I don't know if they spawn faster, but there's just 3 of them, so that's why there's so many.
Yeah.
They spawn about 20% faster than just a vanilla mob.
Really?
Which
Okay, I didn't make those.
Not a massive increase, but it is noticeable.
Yeah. And then they got another one of the weakness potions here. Well, they're really powerful. Save my life potions. The intended use for these is you're about to die, you throw it, and now you won't be dying, but you won't be fighting either, since you have weakness. It's like a panic potion almost.
Yeah. Oh, a minute and 30 for the weakness.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely a note. God, there's so many. I am amazed that no one died right here, because they kind of just walked out, casually stared at the chest for a long time, and the creeper slowly just started walking towards it, and then whoever was here just immediately noticed, oh, there's creepers there, we should be careful.
Yeah.
And then, like, I'm amazed that, I don't know who was on the chest, it was Justin, Isaac.
Yeah, it was Justin who was on the chest, and then Isaac's the one who pointed out the fact that there are creepers here.
I am amazed that, do these creepers have extended blast radius?
No.
They are not normal?
No, they should be normal creepers.
Okay, they should be normal. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a creeper.
Damn.
Yeah, and then the bridge is already very small, very thin, so...
Yeah, I thought they were gonna fall.
There were holes everywhere. I thought they were gonna fall too, and they were just casually jumping around. There, this is gonna be a comical but sad ending.
Yeah. It would have been really interesting if one of them died here.
It would have been, and then one person left to tackle the entire nightmare. But it's better that I think both of them got on it.
Yeah, also, it would have been crazy if I changed the difficulty to hard before they went to this chest.
Yeah.
Because then Isaac would have died.
Yeah, oh, he would have definitely died there. If it was hard mode, creepers do way more damage in hard mode than normal.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, he went down to 2 hearts, and yeah, he definitely would have died in hard.
Yeah. But, and then, so this dungeon is also, again, mostly modular. It's a single structure that's been copied multiple times, we're just connecting it. Spawner placements are different, so is loot and chests, but the base of the dungeon is
another evoker.
Yeah. And the Vexes were definitely
there's the towers, there's the single towers, which are all made from the same piece, although we did, make small scale adjustments. There are 3 different types of bridge pieces, and there's the staircase piece.
Yeah.
And then there is the top piece.
Yeah, the piece with the actual box in it.
Yep. So there's 6 pieces.
Yeah.
I just realized that gas have names.
They do. These are modified. I believe these ones have... I go chase after. What is it called? I can't see. Oh, Crying Soul. Gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So they went to. They didn't go to the bonus tower over here.
They didn't go to this tower over here, which this is where the item.
There's a really good sword in here I found.
Oh, it's a fantastic sword. It's very powerful. It's a sharpness 7, sweep 4, fire 1. So it's 11 damage, and it does like 70% of that to enemies you hit with the sweep attack. So it's very good for crowd control and just getting rid of mobs.
Oh,
and then there's a diamond. The diamond chest plate is up here as well.
Oh yeah.
I believe there's exactly 4 pieces of diamond armor, 1 for each slot with protection 1.
Yeah. I remember when I was spectating them clearing the dungeon when all those phantoms were spawning at the goal. Like, my game was like really
was chugging.
Yeah, it was chugging bad.
Yeah, it's unfortunate
because of it's so many mobs.
And then we have the soul in a jar was way to try and help with void. So if you're about to fall off, you can use it. And levitation 5 for 15 seconds is effectively 60 blocks of upward travel. So if you used it as you were falling off, you could easily get back up onto a tower. Could also backfire. You could like fly way too high and die of fall damage. But
oh yeah, that's
I
really
did notice that if you fell way too far already, unless you had a couple of them, you probably weren't going to survive.
Yeah.
But that was the intent was tried to help with making void a little less of a punishment. And that I believe is the same chest at the bottom of all of these towers. 4 golden apples and one of those unique potions.
Yeah.
And then here, this is effectively these towers, one of the big ones on top back.
Yeah, this tower is pretty great.
Yeah.
I like this the room with the lava, the ladders, and like the lava on the sides, and then all the pigmen pool party as they referred to it.
Pigmen pool party, yeah, that was. These, I think some of these, not all of these pigmen have 2. So they're a lot like very old maps where they had pigmen that just had strength 2, that were hostile by default.
Yeah, and then of course this huge ladder leading up here.
Yeah, this ladder and.
Justin almost died. Like,
almost
right
died here. He was a heart, a half a heart?
It was 1 heart.
Yeah, it was very. He would have been dead without that shield.
The thing is, though, is that like they didn't even hit his shield right away. They were like right in front of him. That diamond axe zombie pigman, and it didn't even hit his shield until he backed away.
Yeah, mobs are a little weird like that.
Yeah, because if they would have hit his shield sooner, he would have been dead.
Oh yeah, definitely. He got pretty lucky there. He got lucky. He almost got knocked off like 3 times.
Yeah, he did.
It was one point where he's just standing on the edge like this. I'm just like, how are you alive? You not.
Yeah, he's.
But all accounts, you should not.
He gets
and then
so
this tower is just a hellfest of everything annoying.
Phantoms are the most annoying enemy here. See,
the phantoms
weird.
are very annoying.
The zombie pigmen just kind of fall and die repeatedly.
Yeah, they do. I'm trying to see. They have reduced health. These ones have reduced health.
Yeah, so if I just push this guy off, I think he might just die. Yeah, he's dead.
These skeletons are just original version. There were too many phantom spawners, so we redid some of them to be skeletons. That's why there are skeletons with the phantom names. They probably shouldn't have those names, but oh well. And then at the very top there's gas if you try to bridge. Not that you would be anyway dealing with the phantoms. So most of this is just honestly more of the phantoms are going to be doing the most damage, and so will the charged creepers if they get down. But there's just so much mob spam, it's very difficult to actually progress.
Do the charged creepers in this area have less health?
I believe they are just normal health, normal charged creepers. Actually, no, they might have less health. They do have less health because they're falling off and they're dying from the top.
Oh, right.
So
Yeah, they have less health explicitly, so it'd be harder for them to just drop creeper spam, yeah, basically.
yeah. But this area is definitely, and the spawners will eventually stop working when there are too many mobs nearby, because otherwise this would just never end. But this is very much a very difficult uphill battle.
Yeah, they had a lot of trouble taking out the spawners.
I know TJ just dug through the wall and just made a cry box for himself as he went up like this. And just got up here really fast to the wool box. And once you break into the wool box, the water flows out too, and that kind of helps move mobs away from you.
Yeah.
But the water's explicitly there, so
Like
there's
if I
no
do
way
that
a
and
creeper
then
or
all the
gas
mobs-
pulls the chest up.
Well, actually, no, it's one
I-
thing there.
I broke a hole in it, but yeah, it would go down like that and then push them away.
It's funny because I
Right.
almost got him killed again when he
It
got
did.
the
I
disc.
noticed it. I noticed that the Phantom was almost able to.
Yeah. See, the thing is, he would have been actually maybe fine if he got shot off, because he might have just landed like down,
Landed like right here.
like
yeah.
right down in the. Actually, no. I think it was over in this side that happened.
Oh yeah. Then if he doesn't land on.
Yeah.
Definitely
Imagine if he got knocked off and he landed right at the edge of the fence like every other time.
dead. Yeah, he managed to land on the edge repeatedly. I'm
right
just like,
here.
how?
Yeah, he's lucky.
God.
Extremely
Yeah.
lucky. And the
Yeah,
funny
they-
part is how they both, like, on the last session of the hardcore, which was like the last 4 dungeons, they were on no sleep at all.
I know that. Yeah, they mentioned that. I'm like, oh dear, you guys are.
Yeah, Justin was
And
on 0 sleep and Isaac was on like 2 hours of sleep.
This area down here. Oh, these blaze cave spider abominations. I swear. I don't know who made these, but these are. Ooh.
What cave
Probably-
spider? Oh,
See,
those.
Done that.
I don't think they
What?
ever fought these. And, oh,
No, they kind of went around this area because you don't really have to go onto this area to get to the back tower. You can run along the bottom of it, but
well, I go up there, I'm gonna start spawning.
Nobody
we're on
found-
peaceful, thankfully.
Nobody ever finds
Oh,
dust
right.
down hanging in the middle.
oh, is there a chest down hanging in the middle?
Yeah.
There is. There's 2 double chests here. I didn't even.
Oh, damn.
There are a lot of golden apples and diamonds in both of these,
Gold. Yeah, dino.
but you could get these pretty easily if you had fire resistance.
Yeah, what spawners? Oh, yeah, these are just blazes.
These are blazes. They might be the special blazes. No, they're just normal
No,
blazes.
no blazes.
But yeah,
That's interesting. I never knew that was there.
yeah. There's a lot of hidden loot chests in this map that most people will not find.
There's so many ways they could have lost this hardcore. And they
This
didn't.
dungeon is, I think, a little too much, even for very, very. If I mean, not everyone likes this kind of final dungeon, but it's a pretty fun dungeon. But in a hardcore, I would assume it's just very stressful.
Oh yeah, they were. It was pretty intense at the top of
Yeah.
that tower there.
Though you can, I suppose, run. I was surprised that when they realized they did fire resistance, they immediately backtrack and make fire resistance. What this with? But it was like I was kind of like surprised that they did like, oh, we don't have fire resistance, and they went, yeah, we don't have fire resistance. They went, okay, and they kept walking into the dungeon.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, okay, I guess they're doing it without fire resistance.
Yeah, which, hey, you know, they managed, but if they
did fine. Yeah.
if they didn't go back, like they said they were considering actually like going through the dungeon without going back and upgrading their armor and weapons, and if they did that, they would have been dead.
Oh, definitely. If they didn't have the diamond gear and stuff, they would have. I mean, they would have found gear that might have helped them. So it's definitely possible. I have seen people do this dungeon without really maxing out their gear. I don't advise it though, because this dungeon's really not enjoyable without maxed gear. Speaking of addressing, I probably should address what things I'm changing. I am planning on updating this map to 1.15.2 or whatever version is the most latest when I finally finish. So probably 1.16 in all honesty.
I've told you if you get a server to host it, I'll help.
I do need to put a server up so that everyone who was originally involved boosts it up. it's been getting slow work as I work on it. I'm mainly working on trying to address things like the open world, how there's not really enough to explore besides the dungeons, and I'm also working on expanding a couple dungeons or redoing a couple so that they just play better. Like I know the gardens I've added a bit more to, the keep I've added a bit more to, just to lengthen them a little bit so that all the dungeons are more of similar length. I'm also planning on going back through the map's gear and mobs and looking at them and possibly redoing some of them, depending on trying to balance things a little better. So like mainly nerfing the observatory, but also buffing a couple of the later dungeons so that they're a little less pushover with the gear you do have. But yeah, that's mostly it. And then I've also done things, fix the map, and just try to put a bit more polish on it for a new version.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to bring it to Realms if that's eventually possible. I know a couple of people have recommended that I do so once it's in a more polished state. So that might be something people see in the future.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's about it.
Maybe it
was a blast watching you guys play this map.
Oh yeah, that's good to hear because it was a lot of fun to record and just have fun playing the game and everything, and it was a lot of fun to edit.